Hey guys, Joe here doing a tech-related video. I just wanted to go ahead and kind of give you guys an overview of all the graphics cards that I've collected so far, as well as to maybe give you a little bit of information behind some of them. Some of the more impressive ones anyways. These little guys don't really matter, but stuff like the 690s and some of the AMD stuff, which will be coming in a future video, will be a little bit more impressive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set you up on the tripod. I'm actually using my camera for the first time in a long time, and we will get to filming. And heck, I might even edit this bad boy. So we're going to go ahead and use my firearm review desk to go ahead and take a look at some graphics cards. And again, these are just graphics cards that have come into my possession through bundles, deals, eBay, just kind of a random assortment of places. Some of them I use on the daily, some of them I use once in a great while, some of them I've never actually plugged into a system. So we'll talk about them and we'll just kind of go through them. So if you ever just need some of these laying around, you should definitely pick them up when they're cheap. You can usually pick these up for a couple of bucks. Like this is a GT640, basically just a graphics adapter. It does have DVI, HDMI, and VGA out. This is great if you're just testing a system because, as you can see, no power requirements. Here's a GT630. It's actually a little bit older. Slightly different design. It's a taller card, but can be used for the same purpose. However, this one just has DVI and mini HDMI. Not as helpful, but still usable for testing systems. Now we're going to take a look at some oldies. I've actually collected these from a couple of different places, but it's just funny that I wound up with so many with the same core. These are, let me see, I'm trying to remember exactly what models these are. These, I believe, are 8800s? No, these are GTX 240s, I think. It's been a while since I plugged these in. I did a review, and I'll find the video and put it up there, where I actually put two of these in SLI in a system and tried playing Grand Theft Auto 5. Needless to say, it didn't go well. But I also picked up, and again, these are just from random pickups, this guy here, which I believe is an 8800. Yeah. Pretty sure this is an 8800, and as you can see, it's got a 6-pin on the end of it. And this one for sure is an 8600 GTS. I just kind of wanted to see what older cards could do, and I just haven't gotten around to filming it. The firearm side of the channel has just, pardon the pun, exploded, and it's taken more of my time. But I do want to start getting back into filming some stuff, editing some stuff. I haven't actually used Adobe in probably a month and a half, even though I have firearm footage at the range. So we're going to go ahead and start getting more back into tech. Let me know down in the comments if you guys like that stuff, along with like overclocking guides and stuff like that I've done in the past. Moving up in the stack, got a few of these guys. Here's a Geforce 9800 GTX Plus, which is near the end of the 8800 and 8800 Ultra line, and then they started going into the GTX Plus 3 numbers, such as a GTX 260. This is a gigabyte version, and this one is another GTX 260. So I'm thinking I might try to do like a SLI comparison to see how old DirectX, I think these are DirectX 9 cards, can still game in some games that still support them. I was hoping that was a 260 when I originally got it. That way I could have done a 3-way SLI, but nope. Now these two cards I got from a buddy of mine, and as you can see, they're quite filthy, need to be cleaned, probably need new paste put on them. But my buddy hooked me up with these cards because he wasn't using them anymore. I'm trying to remember exactly what these are. I believe these are GTX 280s, 8-pin plus a 6-pin connector, and they have water blocks. Some of the earliest water blocks that were out there. These are Titan, Danger Den. I guess that was a channel or a group that used to do a lot of water cooling stuff back in the day. So yeah, I have two of those. I also have the full water loop that it was connected to, including a reservoir, a pump, and I have radiators and stuff. So I could clean these up and put those into a system. I have to build a water cooling system with an older CPU. I'm thinking that Asus Maximus 3 I have with the original i7 870, and that would be a good testing system for these, but I need to get some quick disconnects for connecting water blocks. So keep an eye out on that. I'm keeping my eyes open for a good deal on some components. Here's another one just for testing stuff. This is a GTX 650. So you have the GT 630, GT 640. They only put the X on something that you could technically game with. However, this thing really wouldn't be suggested to game with. But it is a Zotac GTX 650, and it is the one that uses a 6-pin power. So this one is capable of doing a little bit of overclocking. I've used this one to test a lot of systems in the day. It has DVI-I and DVI-D, as well as 2 full-size HDMI ports. So that's helpful because you can run multiple monitors. If you have a smaller form factor system with an extra 6-pin power connector, this would be a good one because you can run a lot of monitors off of it. I got this one off of a buddy of mine. This is a GTX 660. So yeah, I do have quite a few in the 600 series. This is a Gigabyte Geforce GTX 660, triple fan design. I can't remember if I've ever taken it apart and replaced the thermal paste. I think I did. Again, a 6-pin and an 8-pin. Not much more power than a 560, but it looks cooler. And this one can still actually do some light esports gaming, so I should put together a system and test that. A few years ago, dual GPUs on a single board were a very impressive thing. This is a GTX 690. It was one of the first ones to use the metal shrouds and the clear windows that were used pretty much all the way up until the 20 series. This one is a dual 680 basically, however it's underclocked a little bit. Technically everybody calls them 4 gigabyte cards, but it's actually 2 gigabyte cards sandwiched together on the same PCB. Now these actually, when they're overclocked, compete with a GTX 980. I've done it. Again, I'll find the video and put it up there. They're pretty impressive, and for a while I was buying these from a company that was decommissioning flight simulators because flight simulators were using these, and at the time I was getting them for like $150 and selling them for like $250. I got both of these for $100. So this is a pretty cool pair. I've used them before, dual 8 pins, so you need a pretty beefy power supply. I've run them off of 850 power supplies as well as my 1000-watt power supplies, and overclocked. 2 of them together will produce the same score as a 1080. Not a 1080 Ti, but a 1080. Close to a 1080 Ti. I think in Firestrike they did a 27,000-ish, and that was pretty good. Then moving into the 7000 series, we have a GTX 760. Now I'm a big fan of EVGA. It's one of my favorite companies when it comes to their cards. I think they had the best blower design, the ACX, which this has. I'm not sure, I think this is ACX1, but still, this is a good card. It's a superclock card. No, it's actually a regular one, excuse me. I had a superclock 760, this is not it. The superclock ones have a gold foil. This one is not. Still a 6+ 8-pin connector, display port, HDMI, DVI, all that good stuff. This one's a decent card. I don't think I've had this one apart either. It's pretty clean already, so I need to do a little bit of testing, see if that can still keep up with anything these days. And that brings me to what I'm currently doing, which is box cards only. If I'm buying cards for me, I'm only keeping the ones that come in the box. So that's why we're going to go backwards again and move forwards. I did get rid of one of them. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But first one is just a Galaxy before they became Galax. I wanted to say Galaxy and Galax at the same time, so it would have been Galax. But this is just, again, a display adapter card. I actually had the box for a long time, and this card came in a bundle. You can see it's quite full of schmutz. But it's a DVI VGA. Again, it's just a graphics adapter. I've hooked it up before. I think it would be funny maybe to hook it up to that system, the massively overclocked system, just to see if it can do anything at all, like browse the internet. 512 megs is not a lot, and this one needs the thermal paste replaced because this thing was overheated dramatically. Next is a card that I bought off of eBay because it was $15 boxed, and then he shipped it to me for $25 total. This is a Gigabyte GTX 460. Not a big deal, it's the 1 gigabyte version. There is a 765 megabyte version, which is basically just 3 memory chips versus the 4 that this one has. But I wanted it because it was boxed. Older cards tend to bring more money when they're boxed. This one still has the book and the CD. Didn't have all the accessories, but that was fine. And the card. It's a gigabyte again. It has the same shroud as the 660, same basic cooler. I don't recall again if I've taken this one apart. I think I did, and I've run it once, but I didn't really goof with it too much. It does use two 6-pins on the end there. Has a mini DVI, or excuse me, mini HDMI and two DVI ports on it, so it does okay. And I've run games like Sims 3 on it, no problem, and you can run games like CSGO, believe it or not, on low settings on this card. And again, because it was in good condition, the box is nice, and it's a boxed card. There are 8800 GTs and things like that out there, but when you get into weird cards, like a mid-tier card like a 460, I just don't see these that often. I go on eBay once a month or so and just check and see if anybody has a boxed card. Next up is one of what originally was a pair of cards, but I tore one apart and never put it back together, and actually wound up getting rid of it. But this is an EVGA classified hydrocopper GTX 770. And this was actually the main card in one of my systems for quite a while, because I had built a X58 system with a water cooling loop, and I overclocked the snot out of it, and I installed two of these in SLI, and it was a great card. I loved it. It worked for a long time, but I wound up putting a couple of, I believe, 1070 Ti's in SLI in that system. So go ahead and pull it out. So this is the hydrocopper. It was the beginning of the super heavy cards, and as you can see, classified GTX 770, and this is a 4 gigabyte card, which again was a little bit rare back in the day. But as you can see, it's got the block with the light up LED in there. Still works good. I made sure to clean it out before I put it away. Honestly, I'm probably going to steal these for my other water cooling loops. I like these knurled ends. I'll replace them with regular ones, because I think these came off of another block too. But yeah, again, when I throw together my water-cooled system, I can compare, say, the two 280s to this guy. Very nice card. I really enjoyed it for the time I was using it, and I was even able to run games like Forza Horizon 3 on it. However, it would always complain, saying that it wasn't enough memory, because Forza Horizon 3, believe it or not, is harder to run than Forza Horizon 4, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. Yeah. Again, I do regret selling or tearing apart the other card, because I never put it back together. It makes me a little bit sad panda. But I still have this one, and it's still in the box. Next is a card I picked up, and I did a quick unboxing video for you guys. I've had to repair the box since then, but this one is a Asus ROG Poseidon Platinum GTX 780. It's only a 3 gig card, but it's still a 780. As you can see, I've done a little bit of repair to the box because the box was a little bit weak when I got it. But what makes these cards different is the fact, pardon me, that took so long, that it can actually be water cooled and fan cooled at the same time. So you can actually run the fans while it's water cooled, or you can turn off the fans while it's water cooled, and you can have a GTX 780 that is capable of overclocking higher. It's an Asus ROG card, so it's already nicer, has a nice backplate and all that stuff. And you have a little bit of a different style to your system. And again, this can be run with just the fans. However, one thing that's occurred over time is the software never stayed up to date. So when this is plugged in, this fan goes nuts whenever the VRMs get over like 50 degrees, which is most of the time. So I'm going to water cool this one before I do any real testing with it. But I thought that one was really cool. And again, it's part of my boxed collection. A guy in Virginia sold me this one for 75 bucks plus shipping, which I thought was extremely fair. Again, doesn't have like the adapters for the 6-pin to 8-pin or dual 6 pins to 8 pins, but I don't care about that. The main thing is le box. Now this one is a little bit different because I don't actually have the card. I only have the box. But I bought the box because this is a hard box to get. This is the MSI Lightning GTX 780. Now, if somebody has the card and they want to sell it, message me, because I'm looking for the card. But the reason I bought the box, number one, it was 10 bucks. But number two is it's such a large package that a lot of people just threw them away. But they really shouldn't have, because this box is actually pretty impressive. Because as you can see, this is a very nice box. It's not just your cheap foam insert, anything like that. This bad boy has a nice strap in it that holds it in position. It has nice foam inserts. The card goes in the top, and then down here is where the accessories would have gone. Now the accessories are missing as well, so my hope is somebody out there has the card and maybe the book and they want to sell it to me, because I'd really like to put this one in its box so that I can have this one as a real display model, not just an empty box sitting on my shelf. Now you will notice, I've showed in the past, I showed it during one of my pickups, that I had a Geforce 970. I since gave that to my buddy because I backed out of a deal I did with him, so to make him a little bit happier I included the 970 because I know I can replace that easily. To replace it, I picked up a Geforce GTX 980 Kingpin. Now for those of you that are into graphics cards, you know that Kingpin is EVGA's overclocking guru. His edition of the cards are always more expensive. The RTX 3090 I believe is something like $400 more than stock. So yeah, needless to say, he has a bit of history with making some pretty badass cards. This one has, again, none of the inserts, but I don't care. What I really wanted was the box and the card. Now this is a pretty badass card. It's only a 980, so it is a 4 GB card. However, it's a Kingpin classified card. Kingpin classified. Doesn't have the copper heat exchanger, excuse me, the fin stack. I don't know why I can't think of words all of a sudden, like the 980 Ti does, but it is a different style shroud from the normal. It's a metallic silver with black here and here, and it does have blue LEDs that light up here, 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 and you can see through the shroud in places. It's a very nice card. As you can see, it has the same power requirements as a 2080 Ti that I currently have, which is pretty damn impressive, and it has multiple BIOSes that you can use for overclocking, LN2, and regular. So this is a beautiful card. I got a very nice price on it. The lady met me and brought me a bunch of stuff, including some DDR3 RAM, an 8350 processor, and a bunch of stuff for 140 bucks delivered. So I thought that was a good purchase. And I've used this card and it works great. I do want to do is a 980 enough in 2021, but I'm not sure if this card is representative of the breed because it is capable of a lot more overclocking than a standard 980. But maybe we'll see if I set it at stock clocks what it can do. So let me know if you guys would watch that. If so, I'll make that video for next week. But yeah, that was a nice grab. I really like that. Box isn't in the best shape, but it's still the original box. And that brings me on to my latest and greatest Geforce card, and that is my MSI Gaming X Trio RTX 2080 Ti. I picked this up from one of my buddies, and after again calculating out what I paid for this plus the other parts I got from them and everything else, I got in the 300s into a 2080 Ti. And that is why I don't have a 30 series card. I don't want to pay over retail for a 30 series card, so I'm going to wait for something to come up down the road. I could sell this card right now because of the shortage in my area. 2080 Ti's are still selling over $800, at least the high-end ones like this guy. And I haven't decided yet whether or not I will keep this in the long run. The only way I'm going to get rid of this card is if I buy a 3090. I'm not going to get rid of this card for a 3080. A 6900 XT would be nice too. And when I was talking to my buddy out in California, he told me he has a line for 30 series cards. He's a pretty big computer guy out there, so I may have to hit him up for that. But yeah, this card is perfect for me. I game at 1440p, so it doesn't need to be a 3080 or a 3090. It's way faster than anything I've had in the past, and it's still plenty to keep up in my water-cooled Ryzen system, which is hopefully getting an upgrade here soon. But yeah, that's my Geforce or my Nvidia side of my cards collection, and I do have probably 12 to 15 AMD cards, so I'll be doing a separate video for those. If you liked this one, let me know and I'll do the other one. Let me know what your favorite card is. Believe it or not, my favorite is probably the Poseidon 780, and if I can get the card, that guy, because that's a beautiful case, it's a beautiful box, and the 780 is a good card. And I would actually like to pair this one with the Poseidon to see what kind of gaming you could do in 2021 with 780s. So yeah, I'm going to do all this testing here in the upcoming weeks and start editing again. I was getting lazy just doing one-shots, and I don't want to continue to do that. I want to make more and more stuff. On top of which, let me grab the camera here. Not to mention the fact that I have that case, which is a Thermaltake P900D. I think that's the right name for it. I have two HTPCs, one of which is being pressed into service here at the end of the month. That in-win case that I've had for a while that I don't care for the cable management on, the P5 I've had forever. That Corsair case, Cooler Master, I'm not sure what brand that one is. That one's got a 870 i7 in it, and the P90, which is a corner case, although it's shaped the wrong way, so it doesn't actually fit in a corner. So I have a lot of cases to use, including another Cooler Master that's showing up to me soon. And once I figure out what I'm going to do with all of those, I will put that together as well. So give me a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Amazon affiliate links. Do all that for me. Show me that you guys want to see more tech, and I will get back to that. So I'm going to get out of here, put these cards back, and just kind of work on editing this video, which I haven't done in a while. So, like always, I'll talk to you later.